This is an urgent message to Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, and any GOP person who believes that the Congress should do the laws, that the executive order allowing illegal aliens some major rights without any real protections of America is wrong, that there is and should be a multitude of methods to stop this. Guys, one of you is an eye doctor. One of you is a constitutional whiz kid who showed his abilities by clerking in the Supreme Court. Listen, there is no reason to believe that the Congress cannot pass laws and force them on a vetoing president, because the Democrats will be cowed into voting for them if they want to be reelected. America wants honest government. America wants lawful executive orders. America wants this executive order, which is not actually an executive order. It's the death by 1,000 cuts, memos, and so forth. It will make it difficult, but you can do an executive order test act that includes what Obama's doing, which is little memos. He's announced what he's going to do, and then he doesn't sign anything. It will be done separately. A wise move, because that will make it hard to have standing. It will be hard to show that the matter is at issue. But it is at issue, and a good constitutional scholar can write a bill that will do the trick. You gotta do it, guys. You should have had it on the desk in November like I was demanding back then, when I thought the executive order had been, that was promised, was going to be signed. But do it now, as soon as you, in January, have the bill ready, have the votes ready to pass it in both houses by Republicans. Then go to the people and say, we're not saying it's right, we're not saying it's wrong. All America knows the Supreme Court is divided, 414, 333, however you see it divided, and let the Supreme Court give us an answer as to whether or not this is lawful. If they say it's lawful, that doesn't mean we have to like it and that we will do it without perhaps strangling it as best we can, because we still will not believe it. But the Supreme Court will turn it from being an unlawful act in your eyes to being a lawful act per the Supreme Court, and it will show the defects of so many judges that are so far out of control. The Supreme Court, they don't care much about corruption. They will let judges be corrupt. I want corrupt judges that sign orders that have no good faith basis, that are crimes against the rights of people. Orders that are signed prior to seeing the evidence that was sitting on the table, and the judge enters his order ahead of time over objections. Or a goddamned judge in Palm Beach County who allowed a witness to testify as a lawyer without being sworn in, over objections, over case law. Goddamned America that allows a child to be abused by a guardian who is not sworn in, a lawyer guardian, because she's a lawyer, and we don't make lawyers swear in, even though case law says lawyers are not our gods either, nor is this guy our emperor. And this guy is not Obama. This is an Ethiopian. But Obama is not the emperor. By God, Ted Cruz, you need to get smart and do something having to do with the legislative process that you have control over now. And yes, you got to get Democrats, but America wants lawfulness. We do not want an order making this the United States of South and Central America and Mexico. We don't want that. They have to be dealt with, and they can't become citizens, or you will change the very texture of our tapestry. It will be destroyed and will become that of South America, Central America, and Mexico who have failed their citizens repeatedly. By God, we don't want them to start coming here and causing America to go down that rat hole. Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, you're too smart men, too smart not to do some things. I'm Kinmapper at gmail.com. I doubt I'll hear from the real Ted Cruz, and I doubt I'll hear from the real Ron Paul. And Senator Lee, you promised that your legislative aide, promised that your legislative aide would look into it, and I have not heard a word back from that legislative aide, Mike Lemon. How dare such a promise be made, and at least not at least a cursory. We're not going to get into Executive Order Test Act. We don't want to talk about it. We don't even want to see it. Well, it's been rewritten. It will be better written again because of the non-signing of a real executive order here and 1,000 memos that will be doing it. But it still could be put before the Supreme Court. It must be put. Should be Wong Kim Ark. Is or is not the law as it stands that the child of an illegal alien born in America is lawfully an American citizen, or is it solely by custom that should be revisited due to the great abuse of this in our interconnected world where you can get to America, deliver the baby, and go home? We don't want those kind of citizens. If we can change the law or establish what the law is by a law, we need to do so. And you have to be here legally under provisions that allow birth of your children to be citizens. Not everybody who is here legally should their citizens be legally, should their children be legally citizens, because most countries recognize that is not a good rule of thumb. It messes with your national heritage. Yes, we have a national heritage. So I hope to hear from somebody who can do something, but I'll talk to anybody. Email me, kinmapper@gmail.com. I'm also known as Find the Corrupt, Fight the Corrupt, Investigate the Corrupt, Indict the Corrupt, Prosecute the Corrupt, Convict the Corrupt, Incarcerate the Corrupt, or else you just honor the corrupt of America because you haven't done anything to stop them, and there's so many of them. And Ted Cruz and Ron Paul, best I can tell, you're not planning to be part of the corrupt, so start fighting them. And start fighting anyone who thinks they're an emperor. And do it well, not by bluster, but by brains. This is Kinmapper, Fight the Corrupt, signing off.